what is it that we want to see from the RC Music Collective? Well, at the end of the day, we want to see a song. Right? We don't want to hear about their bylaws or their organizational structure or give me an org chart for the collective. It's just give me the music. Let's start dancing, right? And so keep this in mind. This is what we're looking for, right? And in a certain sense, I think this is what the criteria by which we'll judge our efforts. We'll judge the way that we're coming together or not as a family, right? When is the rubber going to meet the road? I want to see the collaboration. Let's just keep talking about it. Let's do something together. Like, well, let's write a song or let's play a song. Well, just write it, perform it, record it, play it. How do we do this? So this kind of just repeats what has been said, but the quick 5-second version is we're the same Regnum Christi. It's the same gift, the same charism, but we have a new structure that we're working with, right? What's not changed? Well, we've always had this sense of communion, right? I don't think that anyone here ever doubts that we're one spiritual family. I don't think anyone here doubts that we do participate in this charism, right? And we all want to do mission together. That's what we'd like to see, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have spent a decade of canonical gymnastics to go through all this, right? We could have said, sorry, I'll see you guys later, We stuck it up because actually we trust in that communion and we desire that collaboration. And that's why we're still here, right? Well, May 31st, 2019, this is 2022. 3 years is a long time, right? So we're kind of like, okay, well, the collaboration, where is it? Where are we going to see this, right? How long, my Lord? How long? Right? And so there's something here in the preamble which caught my attention. Why did we change the structure? Oh, because we had to, because the other one, old one, wasn't working, it was bunk, right? Well, okay, maybe circumstantially we were forced to change the structure, right? The Vatican did have a strong hand in that. But you could have changed the structure in many ways. You could have changed the structure for, let's say, greater accountability and control. You could have changed the structure for maybe less bureaucracy. You could have changed the structure for more bureaucracy. You change the structure in any number of ways. We believe that, inspired by the Holy Spirit, the structure was changed for a specific purpose. To better express communion and co-responsibility of all, and to impel the mission. And so, there's a practical aspect of it, impelling the mission. But there's also an aspect of spirituality, if you will. An aspect of testimony, an aspect of witness. We structured ourselves this way to express communion and co-responsibility. Not to create communion and co-responsibility. Right? There's something already there that needed an adequate expression. And we can always go back and forth and debate, is this the ideal expression of that reality? But the deeper truth is, there is a deeper reality to express. There is already a reality of communion present before the Federation, right? There already is a reality of co-responsibility present before this new structure. And always, we're going to have this challenge. How do I continue to express this reality that's already been present. And then a warning. New structures alone by themselves are not enough. Right? And I think this, for some of us, can be a source of cynicism, right? I get a new PDF, I get a new black book, and then I go back to my section, my locality, and we're still not working together. I've explained my role over and over again. I've explained what the section director does over and over again. I've explained to everyone their job description over and over and over again, and it's still not clicking. What is missing? Well, no one ever promised that implementing a new structure alone was going to be sufficient for seeing real collaboration. And so from the Commission, the ITC's report on synodality, without conversion of heart and mind, and without disciplined training for welcoming and listening to one another, the external instruments of communion would be of hardly any use. On the contrary, they could be transformed into mere heartless, faceless masks. Ouch. So, I can tell whoever wrote that had, some serious wounds with it. One commission too many, one meeting too many. But, I joke. But we kind of think, when you hear this word collaboration, it's kind of like, okay, roll my eyes. One more meeting. What's one more meeting going to accomplish? And I think we know the answer. One more meeting just to have a meeting is going to accomplish absolutely nothing except frustration, cynicism. It's not just that we meet more. How are we meeting? How am I coming to the meeting? It's not just that I do more with others. How am I doing it, right? I'll give a funny example when I'm preaching retreats, and I say that sometimes the very simple actions, it's not only the result that matters, it's the way I do it. For example, there's a door in the back of the room which is open, and the result of your action could be that when I'm finished, the door is closed. Right? What is the decibel level of closing that door? How hard is that door closed? Right? Is it slammed shut? Is it closed gently? Same result, same action, right? But very different realities. How we collaborate matters. And so, first step, conversion of heart and mind, right? You can tell I'm a context kind of guy. I like to take old quotes and plagiarize them. So here from Pope Francis: I hope that your new governments will be aware that the journey of renewal is not over, because a change of mentality in individuals and in an institution requires a great deal of time for assimilation, and therefore a continuous conversion. It is a change that must continue in all members of the Federation. And so those of you who were in Rome for all the General Assemblies, you may be wondering to yourself, well, we were talking about this in 2016. Why am I still sitting here in 2022 talking about the same thing that we were talking about for all these years? Well, because precisely, our work is not over. Have we encouraged this change of mentality? Not just in our leadership, not just in the people sitting in this room, but can anyone in my locality, anyone in my section, anyone in my community actually articulate, oh yeah, of course I know why we changed the structure to this federation. I know, yeah, of course I know we're trying to express community and co-responsibility. Here, let me tell you why. Oh good, They don't know much just the what, they also know the why. And that why resonates with them. The change that must continue. Continuous conversion, right? What kind of conversion? So this takes us back to the very beginning. Words of Pope Benedict that when I read as a seminarian really cut me to the heart. The need to redefine the charism of the congregation of the Legionaries of Christ, preserving its true nucleus, that of the Militia Christi, which characterizes the apostolic and missionary action of the Church. It is not to be identified with the drive for efficiency at any cost. And that hit me in a lot of ways, because I thought, well, no, I'm not driven for efficiency at any cost. I'm zealous for, using my time effectively. Time is kingdom, right? I want to make most of the gift of my time. I want to, do the greatest things I can for Christ. And gosh, is that what the Pope really thinks about me? Ouch. Ouch, he must be misinformed. I mean, that's not how I see myself as legionary. That's not how we saw ourselves as Regnum Christi members. But then, beyond all intentionality, which really no one can judge, what testimony were we giving? Right? Did those apostolic visitators a decade ago say, wow, look at how they build communion. Look at how they express co-responsibility, Well, that's not the mystery that we were transmitting, right? And that's where I think we should marvel, not at how far we still need to go, but marvel at how far we have come. To come to a place where the Church herself sees us giving a testimony of efficiency at any cost, to a place where we have deliberately adopted to express a structure for communion and co-responsibility. The conversion is already happening, but the conversion must continue, right? And I think, without falling into extremes, let's be cautious that these old phantoms don't rear their heads again, right? If I'm complaining that a particular structure, a particular way of collaborating doesn't seem to be very productive, doesn't seem to be very effective, it's not getting things done, right? That could be a legitimate concern, because I have this great zeal, great desire for souls. But without conversion, efficiency, that might creep back in. Why? Well, let's face it, we live in North America, we can't like efficiency. It speaks to us culturally, right? And so, keeping that tendency in check, purifying that desire for genuine service, right, genuine zeal, with, I guess, the very American and, well, also Canadian, fundamental, right, love for efficient systems and efficient things. Yeah. Another element that we continue purifying, right? Joint apostolic action does not mean that we all do the same thing, nor that we all do everything together, that we all govern everything together. Collaboration should not look like togetherness or this rigid uniformity, right? And that can make us nervous. Someone somewhere else might be doing something without me, a different way from me. How can we collaborate like that? RC Music Collective, not to put you guys on the spot, but it's an interesting example, right? You don't ask everyone to play the same instrument. You don't ask everyone to sing the same part. You don't ask everyone to even be in every song, right? You don't ask everyone to live in the same city. And yet, somehow, the song is written. The video gets made. Somehow, this mystery happens. Collaboration is achieved. There was joint apostolic action, right? Wait, so there's no governing body, there's no oversight board, there's no committee that's reviewing. Well, you can ask them about that, but. And so this is the foundation of this conversion, right? Number 27 of our statutes. We collaborate because we're gathered by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, just as the whole church is gathered by the mystery of communion, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right? And so, making present the mystery of Christ, right, also requires us to make present the mystery of Christ, yes, the apostle sent by the Father, but also make present the mystery of Christ, a member of the Blessed Trinity. Mystery of Christ, one who is perpetually in communion, perpetually collaborating with the Father and the Son. And this aspect of collaboration is it's a choice that we make, right? I can choose to collaborate for many reasons. I can collaborate because I'm told I have to, it's in my assignment letter. I can collaborate because, gosh, this is too much work for me to do alone. Hey, you help me, like it's, many hands make light work, right? But, those are the reasons the pagans collaborate, right? Mm-hmm. You Christians, why do you collaborate, right? What does our collaboration give testimony to that the collaboration of the world doesn't give testimony to? Right? What mystery is expressed there? And so we give testimony in communion, not just in the fact that we evangelize, right? But also in the way we evangelize, right? And that's the conversion. Conversion that says, if I evangelize as a spiritual family, that's different than if I evangelize alone. And that snarky voice on the inside says, oh yeah, that's different because it's inefficient, that's different because it's complicated, that's different because it takes too long. Then you're missing the point. It's different because there's a mystery present only when you are with your family. There's a mystery present only in collaboration. And there's a mystery which transcends just the immediate effect, the immediate productivity of what I'm doing. What else is needed for collaboration? Well, we need healing. And I need to be healthy to collaborate. At the base of many of our wounds, we find lacking a total acceptance of one another. This creates false expectations and does not recognize our brothers or sisters as the gift that they are. So, the heart right, of these wounds is not just a historical situation of the past, not just a crisis of abuse, but even in the present, even going forward, if I don't feel that I'm welcome, if I don't feel that my gifts are welcome, if I don't feel that my vocation really is even understood, how am I going to collaborate, right? All right. Use a very simple example. If your talents as a musician, the way you sing, the way you play the guitar, right? If that's not appreciated, if that's rejected, or if they'd say, yeah, Father John, just stop singing like that. Just sing like somebody else. We want like a different voice, different sound. No, stop being you, right? And that's how we're going to collaborate. You're going to collaborate by stopping to be yourself. Yeah, that's going to create some wounds, right? That's not going to be healthy, right? And so, collaboration is not about compromise, right? It's not about, I'll partially accept you, if you partially accept me, and we'll all partially accept each other, and we'll all come together with just that minimum part of ourselves that is non-offensive and easy to deal with, and we'll put that together, and that's the mystery of communion and collaboration. Gosh. Ouch. Yeah. What we want to say is, come fully with your identity as a lay, married, Christi person. Come fully with your identity as a legionary. Everything that means, all that you bring. Come fully, a consecrated man, a consecrated woman. And bring a fullness of your vocation. We welcome that. That gift that you have as a vocation is completely welcomed here. That gift that you have also as an individual is completely welcome here. No filter, right? Not like, okay, you're welcome to come in here, but leave most of your identity at the door. No. We want all of you. Total acceptance of one another. And that's messy, because I have the whole package, everything, right? And it's something that you spouses know, right? You marry another person, it's not that you just get to pick the nice things and then say, okay, well, we'll take all the nice parts of, my husband here, and then that's how we're going to collaborate, just nice parts. Well, the same thing with our spiritual family. This collaboration doesn't come if we're just cherry-picking the nice parts of each vocation, of each person. And then this false expectation. This sense of being almost alienated by my family. They only like me because I'm good at this one thing. They only like me because they need me to do something. They only want me because you can take pictures. They only... You're right. And so, there's a type of collaboration which, instead of expressing and building communion, can do the opposite. Can instrumentalize us, can isolate us, can basically drive us to say, okay, I'm never working with them again. I'm just doing this alone. They don't appreciate me for me. And for all of you who have been there, I'm sorry. I get that. And that's where we need to heal, all of us, I think, from those times when collaboration has hurt us. But also in healing, to find new hope, to realize that collaboration doesn't have to look like that. That's not the only thing collaboration means. That may be how I've experienced it many times. But that does not mean that is all of the reality of collaboration. That there is more. There is a collaboration that is life-giving. There is a collaboration where my contribution is welcome, appreciated, makes a difference, where it matters that I'm there, and I can fully be there, give everything, and have everything received. And this is the work of healing and continuing conversion that needs to happen, not just at this level, each team, each locality, each community, right? Quote continues, reconciling with others implies accept them as a true sacrament of the presence of God. Communion and reconciliation are lived out and built up day by day in the life of family and the community through teamwork with those who are different from me. Wait, so I don't heal by just going off by myself, taking a time out. Well, that'd be part of it, right? But staying by myself, staying in my own silo, staying in my own thing, that's not going to build more communion. Wait, so to heal, I have to go back into that collaboration thing? I have to go back into working with others who maybe don't feel they appreciate me, and we have to like work it out? That's exactly it, right? And I think this is where perhaps the ones who can give us the greatest testimony of collaboration are precisely our married lay and Christi members who go through this, right, on a day-by-day basis, right, with their spouses. Failure of collaboration, misunderstanding, false expectations, and yet they don't give up and say, yeah, it's too hard being married. It's so much easier on my own, I can get so much more done, right? They stick it out, right? They heal, they reconcile, and they grow. And they have a lot that they can teach all of us as a family, right? And so this is a kind of point I've mentioned already, so I won't detain us here, but it's not enough that we just do good stuff, right? It's not enough that we just are being productive, not just that enough that we feel busy, professional. Are we actually making a mystery present? Right? In this case, how do we do that? Right? Aware that the kingdom of Christ is a gift, and we cannot build it by human strength alone. We seek to remain always in communion with Christ and with His church, like the branch on the vine. If I'm a Regnum Christi member, where is my vine? If I'm a legionary, can I connect to the vine of the church, bypassing my Regnum Christi family? If I'm consecrated, can I prescind completely from my Regnum Christi family to be united to this vine of the church? If I'm a lay member of Regnum Christi, does remaining united to the vine mean I just go directly to Jesus? I don't need the rest of Regnum Christi. And I think if we kind of meditate on this, there's a special role of mediation that my Regnum Christi family plays. There's a special fruitfulness supernaturally that's going to come precisely in those relationships. And as a criteria for discernment, is the way I'm working, the way I'm collaborating, the way I'm organizing, the way I'm evangelizing, keeping me united to the vine, right, in any way? Or is it separating me from the vine? Am I a branch that's gone too far away, right, too far off on my own? So they told me how to make this practical, so here's some practical points for people like that. So, when I go back, what do I actually have to do to improve collaboration? So, obviously, the structures alone don't produce collaboration, but it's also hard to have collaboration when the structures themselves are an obstacle and they're dysfunctional. So we don't need perfect structures, but again, at the very least, they should serve community collaboration and not impede them. So if your local structures and organization are getting in the way, that's something to address, right? 2, continuous conversion and change of mentality called for by the renewal. And that's something which, for most of us, is going to happen between us and our spiritual directors. It's not something you can force on people, right? But we can invite, and we can give testimony. We can give testimony to our personal conversions, right? To our personal change of hearts and mentality. We can give testimony to maybe the joy that we find in communion, the joy that we find in collaboration, and hope that my conversion by attraction can also spread to others. Healing, right? We need to become experts in healing. And I don't just say that because, oh, well, yeah, the whole thing with Falamaciel, that was years ago, we're past that. No, I mean healing because there's a lot of wear and tear in this mission. And we're still getting hurt. There are new wounds, there are new sufferings, there are new crises, there are new, things that life just throws at us. And as a spiritual family, we need to have the resources to be able to respond and heal in a timely way on an ongoing fashion, right? Is that happening in my community? Is that happening in my team? Is that happening in my locality? And then 4, understanding and appreciation of the unique gifts of each vocation and also of individual gifts, right? I've been in the LC chaplain's track here, and people ask me, so what's that like? And I kind of joke, oh, well, it's like a legionary safe space, right? But in a sense, this is what it gets down to. Do each of us feel that my identity, my vocation, why I'm here, what God has called me to do, what gifts He has given me, do the others get that, right? Do the others value that? And do the others invite me to collaborate in a way that respects that? And part of it is maturing in how I understand the mystery and gift of my own vocation. Part of it is for others to be able to understand and receive that gift. And if we're not aligned there, yeah, that's going to create some serious frustration for all of us, right? And then 5, right, the clarity and coherence of the testimony of communion given through collaboration. What do I mean by that? Well, if an outsider were to watch the way that we work, right, what would they say? Oh gosh, they're so efficient. Will I take that as a compliment? Or that caused me concern? All I had to say, wow, people have this amazing community spirit. They're also diverse, but at the same time, they seem to manage to welcome and include and use the gifts of them all, right? They come from so many different places, so many different parishes, so many different cities, and yet they all share this same spirit. And actually, yeah, they actually are kind of practical. I mean, things do get done. It's not just sit around and chat. It's all these things. Well, those are kind of some of the maybe fruits that we can hope for. And if we're noticing a total lack of clarity in the testimony that we're giving, well, that's also a place to, red flag. Let's talk about that. So you guys all of this in your statutes here, so but just some elements for kind of assessing my way of collaboration. One, in the way that I choose to collaborate, the way I work with others, do I consider, well, how does this impact the common mission? How does this respect complementarity, co-responsibility? How does this build communion? How am I incorporating listening and dialogue? And of course, how is this organized and effective, right? Gosh, there's a lot of things to balance. Well, yeah, Regnum Christi is not a, simple charism. It's complex, it's multifaceted, it's a harmony of many different things. In my own decision-making and discernment process, am I trying to harmonize these elements? Then questions for breakouts. Basically, what are the bright spots you're seeing in collaborating? And when I say collaborating, I mean collaborating according to the charism. Where do you see bright spots in the collaboration, giving testimony to the things I just mentioned? Right? What challenges do you see? And then, what's one change that could be made? Make it more concrete. What's one change you can make, right? If you want to have at least one takeaway, right? Well, how are you going to collaborate differently? Just one thing. Start there. Thank you.